Motion to approve the previous town board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve town board meeting. The minutes of town board meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Supervisor financial report. February 2014. Can you keep it down a bit, please? You wanted to know why I had it down? February 2014, the general tax warrant balance paid $1,171,948. Ambulance fees, $10,393.33. Highway tax warrant balance paid $1,169,465. Phoenicia Water District interest, $2.47. Phoenicia Library rent, $300. Phoenicia Library electric reimbursement, $92.30. Justice fees, $11,190. Town clerk fees, $25. Building permit fees, $662.50. Dog licenses, $141. Town code permit codes, $200. Highway interest, $47.45. Fuel reimbursement, $2,084.27. Mariner cell tower, $785.07 for a total of $2,367,336.39. Communications. New York Rising. The New York Rising Committee continues to work through all the possible projects against what they are being told is eligible as program rules continue to evolve through the process. Eric has asked that some of the bridge projects be downgraded to box culverts, which will provide a more resilient stream crossing at a lesser expense than bridges. The committee this week also discussed the possibility of combining several of the proposed projects into one all-inclusive project that would include demolition and relocation of the town hall, highway garage, police, and ambulance, all into a centralized building that can house all these activities, excepting the highway, which would remain in a separate building. It was also discussed creating a multi-use building that could also house such things as senior luncheons, fundraisers, and conferences. It was proposed that we consider both the parcel offered to the town some years ago near Phoenicia Plaza on Route 28, and the town also still owns the adjacent parcel, which was the proposed location of the non-existent Phoenicia sewer complex. We would look to locate the highway on that parcel with the town hall on the parcel fronting to Route 28. This is still in the early stages of discussion, but would provide us multiple benefits with multiple funding sources available for this activity, most notably a portion of the $3 million being offered through the New York Rising program. Over the coming weeks, the committee will be working hard to estimate the costs for such a project and what are the needs for each department and what is feasible. Ulster County Emergency Management. Ulster County is continuing to work on an updated all hazard mitigation plan. They are open to comments from the public to help them better address emergency response activities and identifying hazards within all of Ulster County. This is an update to the existing plan, which the town has been involved with in the past and will continue to be an active supporter. This plan was instrumental in allowing us the opportunity to receive FEMA funds following Irene and Lee, and will help in the future. If you wish to learn more about the plan and progress, contact the Office of Emergency Management at 331-7000. Parkinson's Month. As we have for the past several years, the town is designating April as Parkinson's Awareness Month. We join a number of communities throughout the nation in recognizing the need to keep everyone aware of this debilitating disease and the need to find a cure. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those afflicted with this disease and their families. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 7th at 7 p.m.
Rob, how feasible is this New York Rising consideration there with taking down this town hall and
Again, it's in the early stages. We just started discussing this about 2 weeks ago. We don't know. We're trying to figure out how to compile cost estimates for this.
What if we're looking into with all the little things that
Well,
need to be done?
Town Hall and the highway garage are both located within the floodway, not just the floodplain, but the floodway of the stream. DEP through the CWC does offer funding for residences, commercial properties, and municipalities to relocate buildings out of the floodway into less vulnerable areas. So we have made calls to DEP, we've made calls to the DEC, we've made all the contact we can. It's just the protocols for the New York Rising, and Faye being a part of that can understand, that can illustrate this. Each week, there's like a new set of protocols, there's new requirements, it's changing literally weekly. We come into meetings with an idea or a project list, and they tell us this is eligible or ineligible. So it's really up to the Department of State and the people running the New York Rising program as to whether this is gonna fly. Until we vet it out further, there's no way to know.
So if it does fly, or a chance of that, do we end up giving up or demolishing the ambulance and police up here in Glenbrook Park? Or
I had a very, very preliminary conversation with Ulster County Sheriff's Office, because we have had discussions in the past about the possibility of moving their substation to that station on Route 42. What we do with that bill, again, these things, it's coming so fast and furious, I can't answer, you know.
No, it's food for thought, you know.
Yeah.
You know, as far as even taking this building down, one of the problems we got down in Nisha ran into, and somebody called the Department of Labor on asbestos, you know, these
Well,
shingles out
again,
of.
as I said, the DEP through the CWC provides funding for those activities, again, not just for the purchase of the property, but for demolition and reconstruction of the buildings, again, outside of the floodway, outside of the floodplain, to a less vulnerable location, which that area down there is outside of the floodplain. It does get wet and damp, so there are things that we can do to elevate the building a little bit there, but there were trailers there for years that did not get flooded, and even under the proposed new maps, it's not in the floodplain. So,
Rob, could you just explain what the floodway is versus the floodplain, so people understand that?
yeah. I'm taking this exam coming up, so. The floodplain is basically the reserved capacity area for the stream during high water events. The floodway is the area where most of the current of the flow of a flood will go through. So it is wider than the stream channel itself, but not necessarily the entire extent of the floodplain. Is that?
Right.
Yeah.
And does it usually have a number associated with it, 100-year?
It's all based on 100.
Right.
It's all based on that. So,
Gold star.
it's all by past. So, any other communications? Meetings? Joyce, I know you have something to talk about.
Well, yeah, the cards we did up in our office, we did some emergency cards. There you go, Al. And what it is has phone numbers and information that people need, and they always call us for, and they can never find in the phone book, and they go on your fridge, and we have them in all the stores in town, the libraries, the post offices, town clerk's office, and assessor's office. And the committee people have them, so if you need one, just stop by or stop in one of those places and pick one up. And we have some events going on in March. We have healthcare, free holistic community clinic on Thursday, March 6th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the Parish Hall. Flying Cat Music has a concert, Ed Snodderly. That's Ed Snodderly in concert. Empire State Railway Museum. All this info is on Channel 23, as well as our website and our
What's
Facebook
the date
page.
of that concert?
The date is March 9th, Sunday.
This is coming March. Sunday.
And there's a corned beef dinner at the Memorial United Methodist Church in Shandaken, Saturday, March 15th. Call 688-5727 to reserve or get your tickets at the door. And last is we're having another rabies clinic, and we're giving you lots of warning. It's Saturday, May 17th. So all these things are on the website as well as Channel 23.
And then we also have STS Playhouse is opening March 7th for Sylvia, comedy. Go see it. It's Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 2. Tickets are $15, $12 for students, seniors, and members. And that's at our local Playhouse in Phoenicia.
So, while we're on it, I will tell people that the Ski Patrol up at Bel Air is holding their annual fundraiser, which is a barbecue on Saturday night. And know that the people that go around and save you when you might have a slight accident at Bel Air, many of the people are volunteers, so they appreciate the support. But there's a Brooks barbecue with a blues band playing at 6:30 on Saturday night this Saturday. So any support you can give would be appreciated.
Is that at the Upper Lodge?
That's at the Upper Lodge.
And I think on the rec meeting too, they were talking about getting the fields ready and everything ready for the spring, summer season coming up. And I believe it was April 26th was Little League supposed to start, but they're not sure if they're gonna make that date or not, especially with the winter the way it is. They're not quite sure how that's gonna.
Yeah, we're, I can go further and say that we're part of the Mountain Valley Little League now, which Olive has hosted the opening day and Woodstock has hosted. So it is now Shandaken's turn to put on their best face. And, we've got a little bit of work to do with Glenbrook Park, and we hope we can accomplish it before opening day.
Yeah, they were saying something about electric lines being buried under.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't even get into that. Yeah.
It's without water and mud.
And the health insurance
Oh, yeah.
forum that you announced last month, Tim,
Right.
has been rescheduled to Thursday, March 13th at 5 p.m. at the Boyceville Inn.
Okay, so
That's information for people who don't have health insurance, seniors, part-time, people who haven't gotten health insurance can get information about how to do so. And I think that's a week from Thursday.
Right, okay, thanks, guys. Yeah.
Committee reports.
Another point, Rob, before you go on, I'd like to let all the veterans know in the town of Shandaken, in fact, the Ontario School District, that last Thursday, the Ontario School Board voted in favor of the veterans' school tax exemption. So if you are a veteran and have the land tax exemption, according to Heidi Clark, our assessor, that will automatically roll over to your exemptions for your house. If you're not enrolled in the land tax, I urge you to do so. March 1st was the deadline, but if you enroll now, it'll kick in for next year, and that also will make you valid for the school tax exemption. So, any questions, give me a call. My number is 688-5560, and I can give you further information on that.
And it's also based on whether you were just in the service, or if you were wounded in the service, or if you were in a war zone, right? It's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a 15% tax exemption on assessed value. If you were a veteran, 25% assessed value if you were a veteran of combat, and a 35% if you were disabled.
Committee reports. Ambulance.
Captain Rich could not be here tonight, so he has asked me to read the report. February 2014 report, total calls received 45, mutual aid given 0, mutual aid received 2. All that snow out there combined with warming temperatures during the day and freezing temperatures at night causes walkways, lots, and even roadways to become wet during the day and extremely slippery at night. Exercise care while walking down stone walkways, concrete or paved driveways, and of course driving the roadways, particularly in the morning. We've handled quite a few falls this past month, with this being the cause of the balance of them. A lot can be said about injury prevention. Assaulting and or sanding heavy traffic areas around your home is one of the best preventative measures that you can do to avoid a nasty slip and fall. Conveniently, the town highway department provides town residents with a salt sand mix free of charge at the town hall just adjacent to the recycling bins. Utilizing this great resource would certainly give you an edge when the ice creeps over those areas. Please remember your elderly neighbors or those with mobility issues as well, and check on them periodically. A slip and fall combined with chilly temperatures has the potential of deadly consequences if an individual is undiscovered for even a short period of time. Perseverance is key this time of year, and we can only hope that next month we'll be talking about proper sunscreen application. Unit number 7850, total miles 1446. Unit 7851, total 186. Unit 625, total miles 1276. Unit 626, total miles 866. Stay safe out there. And that's from Richard W. Muller-Larry. Muller-Larry.
He's not here to respond, but I have to say, his reports remind me of like the Now You Know things that used to be on NBC. I'm waiting for the star with the rainbow to go across the screen. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Now you know. Anyway, please. You can touch them.
We handled 144 calls We patrolled 7,579 miles. We had 5 total arrests with 11 charges, and 11 traffic tickets and 0 parking tickets. We handled 10 property damage accidents, 1 abandoned vehicle, 1 hit and run accident, 1 animal accident, 1 personal injury accident, 4 animal complaints, 7 AIDs, which are burglar alarms, 2 burglaries, 6 check the welfare, 1 civil dispute, 6 criminal mischiefs, 8 disabled vehicles, 4 domestics, 4 harassments, 2 heat emergencies. Or larceny. I had to look at you. We handle them even though we don't get them. 4 larceny misdemeanors, 2 larceny felony, 2 lockouts, 15 medicals, 1 mental health, 1 missing person, 1 neighbor dispute, 2 open doors, 12 requests for patrols and requests for assistance signs. Would it be assistances? Assistance, okay. 1 robbery, 21 security thefts, 1 shot fired, 2 suspicious activity or noise, 2 suspicious vehicle or person, 4 traffic hazard, 1 traffic post, 1 unattended death, 1 unauthorized use, 13 vehicle and traffic complaints, and 5 abandoned 9 wells. Any questions?
One, of course, remember last week, or last month or so, I asked about units, 83, 84s, et cetera. You said you were going to get us the
Years?
years
You can
of
check
those
with Patty.
vehicles.
Patty has all that information.
Yeah, I did that, and Patty said she didn't have it.
No, Pat's got it downstairs.
Patty's got it. It was-
We have it
Well, she looked it
downstairs.
up. She looked it up and said that she didn't.
She's incorrect. We have the records, we have the police, we have the vehicle records downstairs, and we registered vehicles.
All right, could you request that she
I
put
will,
that in my
I will
box?
talk to her and put that, yes. Water, finish your water.
Good evening. There is currently a leak at the plant, and Father and Rick are working on it, and they haven't been able to isolate where it's coming from yet. So there's so much rust in the ground that they've been working on it. They dug it out. You dug out quite a bit, right?
Well, we dug in 3 different spots, so we could dig anywhere. We had to dig where the pile of snow was, because you can't dig anywhere else because there's 4 feet of frost in the ground.
We're losing quite a bit of water from it. We did finish working on the spreadsheet for Candace, so I'm going to finish that up and send it to her tomorrow, so that you can start working on doing an income survey so we can put it in some grants. And next meeting's on the 19th, which is the third Wednesday. That's it. Thanks.
What time's the meeting?
6:30. Yeah, usual time. 6:30 at the water plant.
Nobody from Pine Hill Water, Museum, Recreation, we spoke of.
Yeah. No, I'd like to say something too, Rob, if you don't mind. I'd like to ask something. I talked to Doris over the weekend. I was asking her about the senior program, the senior lunch program. And her and Dottie Casey, I believe, is running the program. You know, I guess they signed the checks and everything that works for the program. I just wanted to say that if it was all right if I just become like in between the town board. I mean, not like a liaison. Yeah, I guess it is like a liaison, but if any problems or anything comes up with that, and just want to find me, and I'll get the Doris and
Public comments on resolutions?
If there isn't any on those, Rob, I'd like to revisit the resolution that we had last week on, or last month, 5914, assistant dog officer. So Tom, no doubt Tom's going to do a great job, and I'm glad he took that up. But I still think that we should have a hourly wage on these items that have just like $4,000 and $19,000 and 24. It's just, well, I think it's just one of our fiscal responsibilities in order to do that. If we can bring it back to, just to illustrate the point, a few years back, you recall, we had that young lady doing Phoenicia Water billing, and made resolutions to pay her over $2,000 a year. When I started asking her for her hours, she finally did give us her hours, ended up, she was doing that job in 25 hours in a year, which boiled down to about $85 to $90 an hour. We then made a resolution to pay her $13 an hour, and it ended up saving the Phoenician Water District near probably over $1,000, $1,200 a year. And we have,
We can look into it further and do a breakdown. Tom is giving us a report, he is giving us a time card to show.
I'm not just targeting Tom, and in one of your highlights there, last month of February, I wasn't just targeting Wendy when I was talking about her being one of the individuals who didn't put in hours. We have.
I'm gonna disagree with you because you did target Wendy.
Well, I started
at the January meeting, and you referenced the same thing that you just referenced now.
Wendy,
about the
right,
water
Wendy
district.
Helm was the first one who came up, and I questioned that, but I also questioned along with that group, Jim McGrath, Al Fresenda, Nancy Hudler, Wendy Helm, and now Tom Ronaldo is on that. And I think it's our responsibility to have an hourly wage on these folks who have,
Salary.
salaries, right. Now, you stated that if they get called in for hours or, emergencies and things like that, they don't have to put down
You're
hours.
I can call it 24/7 pretty much.
Right, but if you look at the highway personnel, they get called in every time there's a snowstorm, they get called in emergency. The police, they get called in on emergencies,
So
Fred
you
has
want
a.
the resolution to read with an hourly wage? We can do that.
Well, not just Tom or Wendy, but I think Nancy, Al Fresenda, and Jim McGrath ought to have the same thing.
All right. And I'm gonna ask, where do the elected officials submit their hourly wage?
Well, they're elected, all these individuals here aren't elected.
Okay.
That's
And again,
where the,
We can do a breakdown, and again, it's simple math, just looking at the time cards that they're submitting and dividing it equally. You want to put it to an hourly wage, then when they do the over hours in that week, again, it's based on a 25 to 30-hour week or a 35 to 40-hour week. So if you're going to go hourly, then when those costs go up because they're here for 42 hours a week and they have to get
then that's
mandatory
fair.
overtime paid, then that's going to increase the cost for the taxpayers of the town.
Then
Whereas the salary
that's
rate
fair,
is
though.
set
I mean,
from the
if
beginning of the year.
they're doing those hours, like if Wendy's doing those hours, then that's fair. If he's doing 25 a week or whatever, but you take into account, I can illustrate another one with Jim McGrath. He has, each, every, the New York State retirement system requires that all registered employees who are not on the card system to put in their times.
Yes.
We had a resolution last year, 8713, where everybody put them down. Joyce Grant did, Rob, you did, Tom Crusade, Doris Alfred, Carol Seats, Eric did, Jim did. Jim has down 5.5 days a week, or a month that he works.
Again, but I'll tell you that we were required to do this we're doing it right now.
We do it every year. We've done it
January,
since the first year I went on.
we do it January through March, which again, is Jimmy's busy time up at the ski shop where he's not around as much. He is doing the days on shift with the town police, but he's never had to do the time card before like this, so he filled out the time card as best he could.
And that's good. I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't put in the time. He does a good job, and I always thought $23,000 a year. He never took a raise from the time I've been on until now, and I always applauded that until I read this here, and it turns out that for 3 months the average is 5.5 days a month. If you put that through the year, that's 66 days in a year. 66 into 23,000, that's $350 a day. If that's what it is, then we have a fiscal responsibility to address that. I mean, $350 a day is a pretty generous amount of money to give somebody for doing the job here. If you look at the police, when you say it's a slow time of the year, if you look at the police activity reports, their activities for January and February are much different in July and August.
Okay. That's your plan again. I'll go back and I'll say, then the councilman received $9,000 a year, and I'm gonna say by that resolution, and you can look on it, I'm just recalling off of memory that I think it was 2.5 days a month that the councilman are doing.
Well, I can recall a town councilman was here maybe 7 or 8 years ago and got nipped because he wasn't appointed or wasn't given the run for the supervisor and never showed up for 2 years and still got paid over 2 years.
I remember that.
Well, that's an elected official. You can't turn around and give an elected official hourly wage.
I'm just gonna say that we're here all month. You come in, you can sign vouchers, you can ask these things to me in the office, and we can do a breakdown, we can give it to you, and if that's what you want, is.
Except
that
they can't
break
address
down.
the rest of the town board the same way, you know.
We have a phone call, you have emails, you have
I
computer.
can address them here, just as,
I'm sure you're not in Rios to talk to Timmy, I mean,
I've
this is
talked to
stuff
him
that
about
can be
that before,
addressed
but
and
be that as it may,
communicated through the
it's,
month.
I'd rather address the town hall and your town board, I should say, and yourself, and
You can address it in the
put that out.
future. We will address it on future resolutions, and I'll give you a breakdown of all
All right.
this.
So from what I understand, this discussion, if you're an elected official, you can make 500 an hour? It doesn't apply.
I'm not gonna
Like
make
I said, no, it doesn't apply, because like I said, that one individual a few years back never showed up for 2 years, and still collected a paycheck every 2 years.
Does that justify the
So
expense?
one person gets
Absolutely
put
not.
up with another
My
microscope,
point is, an
nobody
elected
else.
official does not have to put in hours. Every 2 years or 4 years, they can come in and get deal levels. These are all appointed jobs by the town board, I'm talking about.
Okay. You can- There's no motions. Any other comments and resolutions? Okay.
Let's see where I dropped all that. Resolution number 63-14, resolution to pay all bills, whereas the Department of Audit and Control require town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment to number and total amounts from each fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. General, $49,282.51. Highway, $52,762.31. Phoenicia Water, $5,937.25. Pine Hill Water, 0. Phoenicia Lights, $1,073.88. Chichester Lights, $147.90. Pine Hill Lights, $602.90. Move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes?
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Supervisor Sanders?
Yes.